Friends, Romans, countrymen, fellow My Chemical Romance fans, lend me your ears, for the time has come for me to embark upon my craziest makeup project yet. Yes, even crazier than my 11-part Twisted Wonderland Glorious Masquerade makeup series that I did for Halloween last year. I am starting a long-term series where I do a look for every single My Chemical Romance song ever. But Shadow, I hear you cry, that's almost 100 songs, not to mention the possibility that MCR5 might actually be happening, which is gonna add Destroya knows how many more songs to that list. Are you insane? And to that I say, yeah, have you met me? Okay, so here's how it's gonna go down. I'm gonna go album by album, including conventional weapons, with singles and other stuff like the Black Parade B-sides either in their own series or sprinkled throughout. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. And this video marks the first episode in that journey. So naturally, we are gonna be going with the one that started it all, the criminally underrated, I brought you my bullets, you brought me your love. But this first episode won't be starting with the songs. Oh no. Today's look is gonna be dedicated to / based off of the album cover. Oh yeah, I'm also gonna be doing a look based off of the album cover. Surprise! Also, before anybody has a heart attack, I have a confession to make. This is not a real Bullets CD. This is my soundtrack for Lord of the Rings 2 Towers. I just switched out the CD insert for a picture of the album cover I printed out. I wish it was the real Bullets CD, but unfortunately no. This is your PSA to not give money to scalpers selling the actual Bullets CDs secondhand on eBay and Mercari and stuff for an obscene amount of money. Either go buy the vinyl or download the songs and burn the CD yourself. The record company may not approve of it, but MCR will, but you didn't hear that from me. Now with all that out of the way, let our journey begin. So here is my concept sketch. It looks a little funky, but I promise it'll make sense by the end. I didn't know how to replicate the texture of the cover digitally, so I just went for an approximation of it. But I know exactly how I'm gonna do it IRL. You guys are just gonna have to trust me on this one, okay? I know what I'm doing, I got this. Now without further ado, let's get going. After prepping my face and gluing down my eyebrows, I primed my eyelids with Beauty Creations color-based eye primer in whiteout. I put it all over my eyelid, all the way up to my brow bone, right underneath my eyebrow, and dragged it out a little bit past my outer corner. Before you move on, don't forget to add your setting powder barrier, especially on your nose. To start on the eyeshadow, I'll be breaking out the violets from Juvia's Place. I'm gonna take this grape purple shade in the top right corner and put that all over where I put the primer on my left eyelid. I have super hooded eyelids, so I have to put it pretty far up so it can be seen. And once I got to the outer corner, I dragged it down towards my under eye just a little bit. And don't worry if your edges look messy, it doesn't matter for this look, since messy is what we're going for. As for my right eye, I'll be using the Zulu palette, also by Juvia's Place. First, take this bright marigold yellow shade in the top row and put that on your right eyelid, starting just past your inner corner and dragging it out to your outer corner, but don't go under the eye. You'll see why later. Next, take the bright orange shade from the same row and add a little bit of it in your inner corner. This will act as a transition shade. Now grab the warm brown shade from the same row and add that to your inner corner as well. Blend where the colors meet and hope you have an easier time than I did. Now take some black eyeshadow and put that on the underside of both of your eyes. This is why I didn't bother dragging the yellow down there. And again, don't worry if it looks patchy and messy at the edges, because the messier the better. You can even smudge it out with your finger a little bit if you want to for extra mess factor. I also added the black to the inner corner of my left eye to match the depth of the right. And now you may dust off part of your setting powder barrier. Leave your nose alone. You'll find out why in a minute. But first, I'm going to be adding eyeshadow where my brows used to be, so I'm using more of my eye primer because that's the only thing I've found that makes the eyeshadow stick to that area for some reason. And with that, it's time to break out another Juvia's Place palette. This time, the berries. I'm going to take the hot pink shade from the center of the bottom row and start packing it onto my left eyebrow like there's no tomorrow until the color is completely opaque. Then I started adding the color all the way around the rest of my eye, including above my eyebrow. Make sure you blend out the edges, but don't worry if it's not perfect. Remember, messy and kinda grungy looking is the name of the game here. Once I was happy with the coverage, I took a little more of the purple eyeshadow from earlier and added it on where the purple meets the pink, and blended it together the best I could, but not too much. Now do the same process on your right eye, but with the orange shade from earlier instead of the pink. And you probably already noticed, but this step causes a crazy amount of fallout to get directly onto your nose, and this is why I said to keep the setting powder barrier on there. But once you're happy with the coverage, you can finally free your nose of its setting powder prison. And here you can watch me once again ride the struggle bus while doing my contour. I was going for a kinda hollowed out but not entirely dead looking thing. I'm sorry, I am so not the person you want to ask about doing contour. She is a fickle creature that ever eludes me. You will never catch me pretending that I know what I'm doing when it comes to contouring my face, unless it is my nose. And now, we get to the crazy part. Replicating that funky texture on the album cover. When I first saw it, I thought it was either cellophane or cling wrap, and thanks to the My Chemical Romance historian on TikTok, known as Franny Stein, I found out that I was right. According to Franny's Bullets album Deep Dive PowerPoint, the way it was made was with a sheet of crinkled cellophane doused in Ajax dish soap and placed over top of a color photocopier. Now I don't have any cellophane, but I do have the next best thing. My secret ingredient, cling wrap. And naturally, I'm not going to be putting dish soap on my face, so I'm breaking out my trusty Mehron face paint palette. I know she looks a little banged up, don't judge me. Anyway, I got out the cling wrap and unrolled a decent sized sheet of it and cut it off with some scissors, cause I don't trust the blades on the box at all. Then I just started pinching around and crinkling the wrap to make creases in any form of texture I could. Once I was happy with it, I mixed the red and blue face paint together to get the same shade of purple as the eyeshadow. Important tip though, if you do this, mix the red into the blue and not the other way around. The red will completely eat the blue if you do. And once you're happy with the color, you're gonna gently kiss the tops of the folds and textured areas with the brush and maybe paint a few streaks here and there for good measure. Now very quickly before the paint dries, carefully and gently put the wrap over top of your left eye and press or tap down all over so the paint gets on your face. You might want to do this twice to get a decent amount of paint on there. Now take your face paint brush with more purple and semi-dry brush some more streaks here and there to fill in the spaces a little more, especially around your under eye. On your right eye, you're going to do the same thing but with the yellow face paint instead of the purple. You might have to do this more than twice because for some reason the yellow isn't as opaque as the purple. Probably because it's a lighter color, but yeah, just keep that in mind. Oh, and I almost forgot to do this. I like adding a couple of horizontal streaks at the top of the purple side. Once all the face paint completely dries down, we can move on to the eyeliner. We'll be using 3 different colors today, all 3 from Hex Baby Beauty. We have Psychic, Selenite, and Salem. That's right, I finally got some white eyeliner! So first, I'm taking some of Psychic and mixing that into the white to make a lighter pink. With a fine detail eyeliner brush, I did my best to make super thin strokes very sparingly across the purple face paint to represent where the light from the photocopier scanner hit the creases of the cellophane. Then I did the same thing on the yellow side but with just plain white. Once all of that dries down, it's time to start adding the black. I lined all the way around my eyes and dragged it out pretty far past my outer corner to make a long, very exaggerated straight wing. No swoops, just straight out. And since my eyes are so hooded, I had to do this Batman style wing so it looks right. After doing the wing on the other eye, I held my breath as I drew on the hanging man silhouette dangling from my eyeliner wing on the right side. And I was a complete nervous wreck while doing this because as you can see, I did not do an eyeshadow sketch like I usually do. That is straight up freehand. And fun fact, this is actually a silhouette of Harry Houdini from his famous hanging man stunt where he had to escape from being bound in a straitjacket and being dangled via a hook upside down several feet in the air. The 3 bits coming off the back are the straps from the straitjacket. And now, we're gonna ruin our eyeliner on purpose, using more black eyeliner, a face paint brush, and a lot of water. Now I know this isn't part of the cover at all, but I do have a reason for adding it in. While traipsing about Pinterest, I found this screenshot of a Tumblr post by 3 Fates expressing their love for this album, and I'm gonna read it for you because it's just wonderful. Bullets has such a great vibe to it, and I hate to say it, but Gay Vampire Bar doesn't cut it. It feels like they're glamorizing something that was never supposed to be glamorous. Bullets is gritty and dirty and sweaty. Bullets is being sick in the bushes behind your house, choking on tears. The hopeless and almost insurmountable feeling that you're wasting your life, yourself away. Bullets is pure and ragged grief and ache, and the anger born from mourning your lot for too long, for a lifetime. Bullets means I won't take this anymore. I can't take this anymore. things will change or they will cease to exist. I will cease to exist. Bullets is about hanging onto a precipice, and ultimately, Bullets is about emerging victorious from hellish mental illness and the tragedy of your own wasted potential. The gay vampire bar was cool though. I love this take on it, and it really made me appreciate Bullets even more. That's why I added the runny eyeliner tears. I wanted to incorporate/honor that interpretation. Once the tears fully dried down, I moved on to the finishing touch, the lipstick. Naturally, I'm bringing out old reliable Sleepwalker by Black Moon Cosmetics. And I didn't do anything too crazy, I just followed my normal lip shape and filled it in. And now for the final reveal. And cue the glamour shots. Man, I love how this came out so much, and it came out way better than I thought it would. I took so many pictures, you guys have no idea. It was so hard narrowing down which ones to show off. And of course we gotta have eye close-up appreciation. While simple in look, they still have to be some of the coolest eyes I've ever done. And with that, the first look of the album is complete. Alright, 1 down, 11 more to go. I hope you guys love this look just as much as I do, and shout out to my mom for letting me borrow real, actual bullets from her ammo box for this video. That's right, all of the bullets that you saw in the set decoration, those are real. What can I say, I wanted to commit to the bit. Come back next time where we'll actually be getting to the looks based off the music. But until then, may death never stop you, and I will see you guys later.